Hey everybody, we are on our final digestive system lab. This is digestive system histology for accessory organs. So last time we looked at organs of the alimentary canal, which are organs through which food passes. Today we're going to look at organs that are going to assist in the processes of digestion, but are not passageways for food. Starting out with the tongue. So here's the lumen of the oral cavity up top. And notice the tongue has these blocky projections. Each of these is called a papilla. And papillae is the plural. So I see like 3¼ papillae here. Stratified squamous on the surface of these papillae. They're going to provide me with friction to grab and manipulate foods. And then on the sides of the papillae, we're going to see taste buds. Like this is a taste bud right here. I got a taste bud circled over here. Another taste bud here, here, and here. So taste buds, of course, are going to be involved in the sensation of taste. If I go down a little bit, this purple guy below the papillae here, this is a salivary gland. And I see some ducts that would be carrying saliva up to the surface. Like I don't see the ducts going all the way up and emptying, but that's where they would be. I've also got, whoa, didn't mean to do that. I've also got some skeletal muscle down at the bottom here. The tongue is actually mostly made out of skeletal muscle. Switching gears here, I've got another view of the tongue. Let's go through this together. This is a big papilla right here. This is one big papilla. Note the stratified squamous epithelium on it. And then on the lateral surface, I got all these taste buds. All these round guys are taste buds. Going down, and as I go down, the darker purple stuff, like right here, these are salivary glands for the tongue. These are lingual salivary glands. Then going further down, we've got some skeletal muscle down here. Another tongue picture. This one is for you to do. See if you can find these 4 things on this tongue pic. And now I zoomed in on the lateral surface of a papilla. It's like I zoomed in right here. And this is a taste bud right here. This is a taste bud. This is a taste bud here. These are all gustatory cells or taste cells that I see in the taste bud. Sometimes we can see a little opening here called a taste pore, which lets the chemicals in food interact with the cells here, which are helping to create the sensation of taste. All right, that is one organ done. The tongue is done. And now what I'm looking at is the parotid gland. Remember, that is an extrinsic salivary gland, sort of over by the ear, kind of like sitting on that ramus of that mandible. And what I'm seeing here are just several lobules. This is a lobule of the parotid gland. There's another lobule up top. Another one over here, another one right here. I see connective tissue that's separating the lobules. This is some connective tissue separating the lobules here. I also, within a lobule, I can see these little sort of circular clusters of cells. These are called acini. They're called serous acini. They are going to make saliva. And I see a variety of ducts here. I've got a salivary duct down here. I got a salivary duct up here as well. All right. Got another picture of my parotid gland. Got some adipose tissue in it as well this time. So I don't see the different lobules. I'm too zoomed in. But I do see these acini, these serous acini here. And then I got some ducts as well to help me carry that saliva towards the oral cavity. So those are a couple images of the parotid gland, not spending a ton of time on that. We never do enough histology. Let's keep going and let's talk about the pancreas. The pancreas. So the pancreas is primarily made of this purple stuff out here. And these are pancreatic acini. So again, a little cluster of cells is an acinus. The word acinus means grape or berry, like the fruit. And so somebody thought that the cells here resembled a bunch of grapes, or maybe like you know how a blackberry or a raspberry has all the little clusters within it? That's the idea. So these are pancreatic acini. 99% of my pancreas, although certainly not 99% of this picture, are made up of pancreatic acini. They make digestive enzymes. So we're talking proteases for proteins. We're talking amylases for carbs, lipases for fats, nucleases for nucleic acids, coming from these pancreatic acini. Now this thing that's lighter that I've encircled in red here, this is a pancreatic islet or islet of Langerhans, and this is the other 1% of the pancreas. This is an endocrine structure. So the cells here are involved in making glucagon and insulin. You're going to have alpha cells that make glucagon, beta cells that make insulin, and these two hormones control your blood glucose levels. So here I've got a lot of acini. This is an acinus right here. This is another one, another one. I see the nuclei in my acini, in my cells. I also see lots of granules that are filled with enzymes. That's what all those little dots are. And I even see a little duct in the pancreas as well. This little duct will carry the enzymes, then add its own fluid, and that fluid is basic or alkaline, which is going to help neutralize the acidity of the chyme coming from the stomach. Got some more acini here. Look at that little cluster of cells. That is a pancreatic acinus. There is a little pancreatic duct right there as well. Got some little blood vessels in here too. Here is another pancreas. Can you find me two nice islets in here and then a bunch of acini? That is your challenge. Can you find me two nice islets and a bunch of acini? And with that, we're done with the pancreas. So we're going to move on to the liver. When we zoom in on the liver, we see these structures called liver lobules. The liver has probably like 100,000 lobules, which are often described as hexagonal or six-sided, although it doesn't always work out like that. So I got a lot of lobules here. This is a lobule in blue here. This is another lobule over here. This is another lobule right here. Notice there is connective tissue separating the different lobules. In the middle of each lobule, I see a lumen of a central vein. So the middle of each lobule, there is a central vein. The central vein is then surrounded by liver cells or hepatocytes, as well as sinusoidal capillaries. Then at the corner of each lobule, at each corner in fact, although not always perfectly visible, I have what's called a portal triad. This is going to include a portal venule, which is a branch of the hepatic portal vein. It's going to include a portal arteriole, which is a branch of the hepatic artery, and it's going to include a bile duct. So the two blood vessels bring blood, which flows through the capillaries here, onward to the central vein, and as the blood flows this way, it gets filtered. Meanwhile, bile flows outwardly towards the bile duct at a portal triad. So here I have another liver here, and let's find some stuff here. The liver lobule is this entire thing right here. This entire thing is a liver lobule. I'm basically drawing on the connective tissue that is between the liver lobules. This would be another lobule over here. This would be another lobule over here. Okay? Now, I also have a central vein. This is a central vein right in the center of the lobule. This is a central vein right here. Central veins carry blood away from a liver lobule. Now the cells all around the hepatocyte, so all around here, all the cells all around the central vein, all these guys here are hepatocytes. These are all hepatocytes in here. And any little space I'm going to see in here would be a sinusoidal capillary. Now, I also see a nice portal triad. Technically, there are portal triads at every corner, but I don't always see them in the microscopy. But this is a portal triad right here. And it looks like I have a branch of the hepatic portal vein right there. It looks like I've got an arteriole as well as a bile duct. So the two blood vessels are bringing blood to the lobule so it can get filtered. The bile duct is taking bile away from the lobule, taking the bile onward to either the duodenum or the gallbladder. So here is another close-up view of the liver. I'm like right in the middle of the lobule here. So if I'm in the middle of the lobule, what is this guy? This is, of course, going to be a central vein. And all of these cells here, they are all hepatocytes. Then the spaces in between them, I could be reasonably certain that these are sinusoidal capillaries in here. Okay, was that our last slide? Might be, let's see. Yes, another super quick lab video, which is great. Still did a bunch of organs, but we ripped right through them, which is kind of the nature of the game in these videos here. So, 12 and a half minutes, 13 minutes, and we are done. I will see you guys next time as we start the urinary system. Bye.